how many people actually have seen these timekeepers, these beings that are dictating what they do in this timeline, and who has access to them regularly? I'm confused at this point. They're not explaining that.
I really hope it's not like a Wizard of Oz thing where they pull back the curtain and it's like these like little like it becomes like a Ralph Boner thing, you know what I'm saying? Like I really hope they don't do that. Don't do that, please, Marvel.
Make sure you tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. for our episode reviews. Appreciate it.
Loki, episode 2. We got a special guest here with us today, Purp from Purp Minded, the YouTube channel, man. Great content over there, doing all type of entertainment reviews. Great stuff going on up there. Definitely check him out.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
For sure, bro. For sure. All right. So we start out episode 2 in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. The city names in Wisconsin be so nuts. Waukesha, Manitowoc, Oshkosh.
It's a lot of American names.
Right. It's nuts. But we started out there in the 1980s. Another, TVA agent regiment then got hit by the Loki variant. So thoughts on that whole setup, another incursion by the variant, another scheme being played by the Loki double.
I thought it was pretty interesting, definitely a lot of exposition throughout this whole entire episode. I think that would be like the one negative, but like the whole interaction between, this Loki that we see, the 2012 Loki versus this different variant. That was interesting. Even though like there was rumors that it was going to be a female Loki, so it was kind of like a surprise, really. I'm curious to see what they do with her character going forward, like, but that's my thoughts on it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. What about you, Rain?
They brought her in quick, the female Loki in quick, so it's interesting. Like, like I was telling you before, like I'm not too caught up on the Thor series, so I'm not all versed in it, but it's just interesting that they're introducing that version that quick. Like I thought probably later in the season as it built up to it, but I guess they got to introduce it somehow. So why not now?
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was interesting on that part of it. First of all, how they wiped out the agents again so easily. Like I'm trying to figure out how these time variant agents are getting slaughtered time and time after again. But these are the quote unquote protectors of this constant timeline for all of reality. So that's interesting. Yeah, they're pretty nerfed, right? It's funny. But something that we did see is a new ability from the variant Loki, right? The ability to enchant, I guess is what they called it, or like possess that person's body. So that cool. that plays a part, throughout the episode, definitely. They also picked up one of those whatever I call it, a time machines. I don't know what the hell else to call it. The little machines that allows him to open the doors to go through the timeline, whatever. So he snagged one of them.
That purple capsule?
Yeah, well, those are the charges. He's been stealing them too.
Okay, because I was about to say, there's like towards the ending that they end up snatching away.
Yeah.
They had a whole gang of those. They had a whole gang of those things.
Every time he takes out a regiment, he picks up some of those time charges. So he's building up to something, right? But then he got the portal, the thing that opens the doors so that he can move throughout the timeline as well. That was the next piece that he needed. So from there, they switch over to the TVA headquarters. Loki's getting his education from Miss Minutes or whatever. I thought that, the comedy is okay. It's hit or miss sometimes, but I feel like when it's good, it's well placed. Yeah. Sometimes they force it a little bit, but it's for the most part, I feel like it's been pretty well landed overall.
Me personally, I feel like I like the fact that when Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't have that much humor like that. It was pretty much similar. It was pretty much serious, and I wish they would have kind of done that with Loki, because my whole issue with this, like, I'm enjoying it for the most part, but it's just like, where is the villain Loki at? Like, where is this one of the top 3 MCU villains of all time? Like, where is he at? Like, he just constantly is getting like, I don't know what it is. He's constantly getting beat up. Like, I feel like I'm watching The Mandalorian now. It's just like, I don't know. I'm all for it. Like with him and Owen Wilson and stuff. Like their whole interaction is really dope. I like the whole explanation of just exactly how things work. And it might not be enough for most people, but I feel like that's pretty much the gist of it. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think this is really the start of the multiverse of madness. This is really where things are going to start to kick off and stuff and whatnot.
You know what's crazy? I thought that too, but then I had to take it back to WandaVision as well, because that her mental trip or whatever, right? That whole thing with Westview unlocked something in her that made her a Nexus being, right? Mm-hmm. So that's been the constant thing through this show and that show and Loki. Is this idea of Nexus beings creating Nexus events. Like, I think they pretty much confirmed that Loki's a Nexus being in the MCU as well, because they said a Nexus being has to do something to cause a Nexus event, which is going to kick off, the multiverse of madness, like you said, for Doctor Strange, because, they keep hinting to it. They keep talking about it. Even like what I was about to say with Minutes telling Loki, what happens if a timeline reaches red?
And I thought about this too, not to go off topic, but like how they can introduce the X-Men and stuff. It's just like they keep talking about this multiverse war and stuff. The best way that they could possibly introduce the X-Men is have the X-Men look at the Avengers as a threat. Be like, these are the people that keep messing with time, so we gotta, have them look at the Avengers and stuff as the bad guys and stuff like that, or something like that. I don't know. But that's just a little thing I kind of like noticed that, like, what they're hinting at with the whole multiverse of madness. And I don't know if we're going to see Kang in all of this. That'd be interesting. That'd be a really dope
I would
character.
think so. A lot of people think that one of the timekeepers is him. The middle timekeeper that they keep showing with the statues. They're saying that they modeled it after Jonathan Majors' likeness or whatever. So that is something that's floating around out there. But
we should know better than to believe Marvel at this point. I'm just because they be capping so much. But like,
no, for sure. Do y'all think that? Who do you think has the upper hand in the struggle between Mobius and Loki? Because at times I feel like Loki is gaining footing. He's planting seeds where he needs to sow dissent in certain places. He's making moves. He's trying to scheme. But then other times Owen Wilson is like backhanding him into the ground. So like, who do y'all think is getting the upper hand in that struggle so far?
Though, because they need him. They need him there. So I feel kind of like he's low-key seems like he's not necessarily begging, but he's pleading to like, nah, believe me, I think this can such and such, this can happen that way, or we can do this. So I think at the end of it, he still low-key has the upper hand, but to an extent, as much as they will allow him to.
What do you think, Purp?
I think everything changed for Loki the moment that he saw that whole portal. Like everything kind of changed for him. He's like, all right, do I fall back and just stay with these dudes, or do I just follow this other Loki and see what I can do? Because like, his whole goal is to get to be face to face with one of the timekeepers, or all three of them, like, or he wants to get rid of them or overthrow them or something like that. Which I feel like there's going to be something to that. That's another thing I liked about this episode, is that we really get to see Loki being smart, like his smarts, his intelligence and stuff like that. I really felt like I was watching Dexter. It's like, it was like a mixture of different shows with these episodes. But I would say right now, I would say Loki has the upper hand, honestly. Because now, he's out of out of reach from the was it the TVA or something
TVA.
like yeah, he's
Yeah.
out of reach for them. So who knows what he's gonna do? Or I would like to see next episode that Loki and the female Loki having a whole conversation and just explaining her story as well as him to kind of explain his story, something like that. But that's just something I was throwing in. But yeah, I
No, for
think
sure,
Loki
for sure.
I definitely think Loki has the upper hand.
Yeah, no, so he's out. He's skirted through the door. Do you think that they're gonna try and double back on it and make it like he's being it's a hero play to earn their favor so that he actually gets in front of the timekeepers? Like it's like a
he could definitely be playing like I don't know if y'all watch Dragon Ball. He could definitely be like a Frieza, where Frieza is willing to work with Goku if it means, something is in it for him. I don't, and that's why I say I hope they don't try to make him a full-on like good guy, because you definitely still see hints of the villain there, but we just don't really get to see him kind of flesh that out. Hopefully by the end of like the next few episodes, we get to see that more. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to play it smooth, man. He got to play it smooth when he don't lock his ass back up.
Yeah.
So
the one chick was on to him too. The one chick knew what was up.
Yeah, she did. He was Mobius gave him the nice when they was getting ready to go back out to try to set the trap. She was like, absolutely not.
I'm like,
hell no. Are you out of your mind? That was funny. That is more well-placed humor. I thought it was interesting to see how their power sets differed and how they use their mischief magic or whatever. The variance power set was much more effective than our Loki, the 616 Loki. But if she is just one, because we saw when they were going through the iterations of them, it was like thousands of them of us.
Yeah.
So like, if this is just one of them out here, what is the upper limits of Loki as a character going forward? Like, we haven't really seen the true potential of Loki, even in his. Sorry, y'all, my kid. We haven't really seen the upward limits of his power set, even in the MCU storyline so far. So, like, how does that kind of push his character forward a little bit?
Yeah, that's interesting, because it's like you make a good point, because like, what do you do with Loki after this series? Because he's dead in the main timeline.
Yep.
Unless if they, which I see them doing this with all these different movies and TV shows, and I feel like it's going to be problematic. How they're like replacing their male characters with the female characters, so they could possibly, this new female Loki could be the new Loki going forward, or something like that, like similar to how they're doing with Thor and stuff, and Jane Foster and blah blah blah.
Black Panther.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know where you really take his character, what more you could really do with his character. Like I said, like I would just like to see, at least if he ends up dying off or they end up deleting him or something like that, at least let him go out with the blaze of glory or something like that. Let him go out like a real true villain or something like that. But I don't know. That's interesting.
I think the through line, the one thing that's going to stay constant through all the TV shows and the movies, is the idea of the multiverse going forward. That they're going to milk that like as much as they can, because it's so expansive. And then I think ultimately it ends up being like a battle world kind of event, Secret Wars, that kind of thing.
How would y'all feel about this? Because I've always thought about this as a whole, like, instead of having Endgame, or you could still probably have Endgame. Instead of having Endgame, you have Phase 4 kind of dealing with like the ramifications of, Thanos' snap, like them trying to figure out how we can fix this throughout these different movies and TV series and stuff like that, instead of cramming it all into one movie and figure it out, like time travel and all that.
So like in between Infinity War and Endgame, like we have a series.
Yeah, like
to like gap the 5 years.
Like imagine if Endgame didn't exist, and Phase 4 was all about them trying to fix the snap and stuff instead of just them trying to fix the snap in Endgame. They spread it out throughout Phase 4.
Yeah, because right now it kind of feels like we're dangling around the snap.
Mm-hmm.
We're just right past it. We just after, like, WandaVision picked up a week after everybody was snapped back or something like that.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was a few months out. I don't know exactly where we at chronologically at the TVA, because apparently time don't work there.
Yeah, that's I wish they would have gave us like a timestamp or something, like when he
Yeah,
jumped
like, where
through
are we
time.
at? Where the
Like,
hell
are we back in time? Are we forward in time? Like, because
he made a joke about it.
2012, so yeah.
He made a joke about it. He was like, "Are we in the future?" It feels like a future thing. Like, does Mobius keeps dangling the timekeepers at Loki as a way of motivating him to do whatever the hell they want to do? Do you think this plays out, this relationship with the TVA and our Loki ends with him actually seeing a timekeeper? If it does, to me, it's got to be Jonathan Majors. It's got to be Kang. It only makes sense. You're not going to show us these damn timekeepers you've been talking about this whole series and it not be Kang. So, but do y'all think it even gets to that point where he's face to face with these quote unquote timekeepers?
Not this season.
No.
I don't think this season. They're gonna tease it, but not this season. I don't feel like.
Oh, you think there's gonna be multiple seasons? I think this is gonna be one and done.
You think so?
Yeah.
Damn.
See, okay, so out of the 3 that have already come out, the most likely to get a redo, I feel like, is Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
For sure.
Just
but
because
they're already working on Captain America 4, so I don't think that would make sense.
You don't think so? Well, but it feels like the one because Loki, like we said, Loki's dead and he can't go back to his original timeline. So it's only, so it's interesting where he's going to go, but it's only so many places he can be outside the TVA before he branches off and messes up the timeline. So with Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's a much more repeatable thing, I feel like, with Bucky and Sam, as opposed to recreating WandaVision for a season 2 or recreating Loki for a season 2 or something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
If not, then we just don't see the timekeepers until what, Ant-Man or something like that. Probably.
Yeah, we wouldn't see Kang until Ant-Man.
Okay. All
Which will be a funny interaction.
Right. All right, so where are we at? So they hop back to Oshkosh or whatever in Wisconsin. They're investigating. They find out that C-20 has been abducted. That's a new thing for the variant. We didn't start grabbing people. I thought it was interesting at that point where Loki was like, I felt like at one point he was just trying to like wiggle his way out of it and set them up or set himself up to scheme. But we found out later on in the episode that some of that was true. Like, hey, no, they're trying to draw you out with this person. You trying to go after C-20. She's going to be waiting. She's going to have something waiting for you. And that part of it turned out. But that he was actually trying to scheme his way to see the variant, as we've seen later. We saw what actually happens when they set one of them reset charges off. That was nuts. Makes you think about how many times that they've done that in our MCU timeline already. Do you think the TVA is going to start popping up in future properties, kind of establishing their pieces?
They should have popped up in Endgame, like when Gamora and stuff and all that. And I don't want to get into that because that's a headache.
No. They are allowing a lot of shit here. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I feel like they just want Loki. Like, they just have this hard on for Loki. But Steve Rogers went back and had a whole life that wasn't supposed to be there.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Like, why was that? How was that supposed to happen? But I digress. We'll be here all night with
for Loki.
Yeah, for real. Free Loki t-shirts. I'm about to start making note.
Grams goes by.
Okay. So they find out a way to kind of draw out or pinpoint where the variant's going to be, right? He's using collapses or apocalyptic events to hide their nexus energy or whatever so the TVA can't track them. So they find out where they're at, somewhere in Alabama in the year 2050. Go figure. It's some kind of climate disaster. They're holed up in a futuristic Walmart.
One second. I don't know. Like, what was so interesting about that scene that I think it would go a lot over a lot of people's head is I don't know if you're in I don't like calling them conspiracy theories or nothing like that, but have you ever heard of people of the government using Walmarts as FEMA camps and stuff like that? That's what that looked like to me, which is interesting. But that's just a little side note I wanted to kind of throw out there because I was thinking about that.
It kind of gave me the same idea. I was like, man,
that's creepy.
So there's no refugee shelters at all anywhere. It just went to the local shop, huh? But
our buddy was shopping for plants.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It was in there shopping. Okay. So they walk right into the variance trap, hook, line, sinker. They found the C20, the agent that got kidnapped or whatever. She starts muttering that she gave up the location of the timekeeper. So here's my thing with these timekeepers, right? During the conversation with Mobius and the judge, he made it seem as though she was the only one who has access to them, that can go see them. But then C20 is like, well, I gave up the location of the timekeepers and how to access them. I gave it up. So how many people actually have seen these timekeepers, these beings that are dictating what they do in this timeline, and who has access to them regularly? I'm confused at this point. They're not explaining that.
I really hope it's not like a Wizard of Oz thing where they pull back the curtain and it's these little it becomes a Ralph Boner thing. You know what I'm saying? I really hope they don't do that. Don't do that, please, Marvel. Do not do that.
I'm still holding out hope that Ralph Boner is Mephisto, but we gonna pocket that, and I'm gonna hold that in my bucket over here.
I did see in your first episode review of the show, and you were talking about the devil picture, and I think that was mostly symbolizing Loki. Because if you look, you remember, because Loki had the horns, he got the green on and stuff like that.
Yeah, I seen after we recorded that, I saw a lot of other reviews, and they said the same thing, and I was like, all right, I could be totally wrong. The reason why I'm holding out hope is that, okay, if he's pointing to the devil did this, right? Why the devil was red? He had two horns coming out of his head. Remember when we've seen them cycling through all the Lokis, we had one of those Lokis, but he was green. So I was like, well, maybe, maybe it still is. I don't know. It probably isn't. Maybe they just trolling us.
Future. Yeah, we got to see in the future.
They just trolling us. All right, so wrap it up. Loki ends up, tangling with the other variant, again, superior in their skill set. The variant goes ahead, hood is off, surprise, it's a woman, nobody knew. Sets off the bomb and then transports them all to different points on the timeline. Sets off this catastrophic event. Everybody's all on deck at the TVA. Loki skips off with the variant as Mobius and them close in. So where do we think we're going with episode 3? How do you think Loki either gets back to the TVA or gets control of the variant? What's going to happen next week?
Like I said, I want to see a conversation between these two. Just keep it short, though. Like I said, that's the one thing I feel like dragged this episode a little bit too long. It's the dialogue, which I'm not opposed to. I'm not but it's just all right, I get it. We get it. Move on. I want to see more of what the whole bomb, the whole aftermath of that, You know,
Yeah,
like I
for
still
sure.
think that's going to be the catapult to everything, and you know that goes back to in this episode where was it the Nexus being could use whatever a disaster or something like that, so they go undetected, and Wanda probably knows that, and while this is going on, this is why she's probably looking for kids and stuff like that. And
That's a good
you know what I'm
point.
saying?
That is, I didn't think about that. That is a good point. She could be doing the same thing that the Loki variant is doing.
Yeah, and this could also set off things with the Spider-Man No Way Home. You know, knock things out of whack, and you know this brings in Doctor Strange and stuff like that. And I think this is really where things start to kick off, because we're not gonna after Black Widow's a prequel, then Eternals is another like kind of prequel, so we're not gonna get a follow-up, a continuation till Doctor Strange 2 comes out, or not one until Spider-Man comes out, and then Doctor Strange. So
yeah,
we just got to wait and see. I wish they would have gave us a little bit of a preview, but you know I understand they want to keep you in suspense, or just like you know keep you surprised and whatnot. Just I'm hoping this is the turn up episode, because we're like at the halfway mark now. So like
yeah,
we got to get things moving. So
for
that's
sure.
all I want is a conversation between those two Lokis and the aftermath of the bombs going off.
Definitely with the aftermath of the bombs, how they're able to get all of those timelines reset, if they're able to. Fuck around, have a Nexus event popping off in Loki. All right. Well, Purp, we appreciate you coming through, man. Definitely got to have you back on to do some more
Always.
of these. And likewise, man, we would like to come on and you know work together.
Yeah. Once I like get back to starting to stream again and whatnot, I'll figure something out. But I appreciate the invite and stuff. That's always dope.
Oh, for
Having
sure,
people
man.
reach out and stuff like that.
Right.
I'll put
Tell
this on my
everybody where
community. Yeah, I'll put this on the community page. But yeah, you can find me on Purp Minded. You know what I'm saying, on YouTube. Just type in Purp Minded. You know what I'm saying? As far as what I got coming, I'm debating if I want to review Black Summer season 2 episode by episode like I did the first time around, or just watch it all, and you know what I'm saying. But that's coming out tonight. I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
But other than that, I don't know what else is coming. You know, I usually just drop a bunch of random videos at random and stuff. So definitely check my channel out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, man.
Subscribing.
Yeah, you know, subscribed already. We in there, locked in.
Thanks for watching another Back of the Bus Squad episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Want to check out another episode related to this? Go ahead and click that video to the left.
And if you want to catch up on some of our other episodes, make sure you click the playlist below.